The oil industry is about a $9 trillion industry a year with about $9 billion in trading volume a day. The labor market is about an $82 trillion industry a year with about $90 billion in trading volume a day. This is so important because Tesla have just recently given guidance to suppliers for 600 Optimus robots being developed every day, which means that that could be a run rate of 30,000 a year. This is important because Tesla would not give this guidance unless they had their design of the final stage of this robot in place and locked. The production of the factories shows that they're confident with their final design, and the complex process that you have to synchronize all of these manufacturing processes for that to be in place, for them to be confident with this final stage of their design, to give this guidance, shows that they're ready to start bringing this product into the market. This is going to be so big for the revenues that this could generate. This market has never been opened up to any company, and this could be a completely new industry that Tesla get to become first movers in this opportunity of the next 10 years. So you think about what it costs to make a Model Y. It costs about $30,000 to make a Model Y. Now, the size and complexity of the Optimus robot compared to a car, it's about 20 times easier to scale out these robots compared to making one car, which means that the complexity, the size, the weight comparison would lead to them being able to penetrate this total addressable market upwards of 100 trillion very quickly over the next few years. This is an opportunity that venture capitalists are really aware of. They're positioning themselves for this. The reason why this is an opportunity is because the public market don't evaluate the products of the future. So you've got firms on Wall Street don't quite see the future potential of this opportunity. Instead, a Morgan Stanley, a Citibank, a Bank of America, they evaluate the company currently based on cars and how many deliveries that they make every quarter. That's the short term, and if anything, that's more of a lagging indicator for this company because they're about to open up into two completely new markets, autonomy and labor. So to be able to understand that this company is a mix of public market and venture capitalists, it is a unicorn in so many ways. The opportunity hasn't quite been realized. The growth is exponential. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of these tech companies that are very, very successful at the moment haven't gone public because they don't want to be evaluated and modeled by public firms, such as banks across America, because they can't see the future potential of their technology. So in this video, I want to go through 4 key topics. I want to go through job fears, job opportunities, multi-purpose bots that exist at the moment, and then also the construction costs of the Tesla robot and how they're able to scale very cheaply one of the most innovative products I think we've ever seen on the planet. And then I want to go through how this could be relevant and just give you my thoughts. But this information just comes from the hours of research that I spend listening to podcasts, very, very intelligent financial analysts that study the Tesla company every day. And I just take these insights and I try and showcase some of the most important parts of these tens of hours of podcasts that I listen to because I just truly find this subject so interesting. So please like, subscribe, comment down below because some of these insights are truly important to capture. And the more people that are aware of them, the more they'll be able to lean into this opportunity and see that maybe positioning yourself for the next few years right now is potentially life-changing. So like, subscribe, notification bell, comment down below. I always gain so much from reading the comments, and it's always so helpful for me to just kind of, if I get a question, I get to answer it. And if you disagree with anything that I've said, again, it challenges me to question my thesis as well, which is always really valuable. So let's get straight into it. Number 1, job fears. Now, with an aging population globally, the demographics of workers is slowly starting to change. And a country like Japan, where they have a shortage of manufacturing jobs and a shortage of factory jobs, it's starting to become increasingly more important to find a way of replacing this shortage of workers. So humanoid robots could very quickly and frictionlessly penetrate that market and absorb that shortfall of workers. Now, if you think about this example that came from Cern Basher, a great financial analyst, and he models robots daily, and he gives really important information about what they could do and the impact they could have on a company. He talks about Walmart and how if they every year have to replace 1 million new workers, which is getting increasingly harder to do, 1% of that replacement with humanoid robots, which would be 10,000 robots, would have an impact on their earnings by 3%. Now, if they were to go and replace 10% of that new workforce with 100,000 humanoid robots, that would have a 30% increase on their earnings. And then if they were to replace 30% of that new workforce with 300,000 robots, that would mean a 100% increase on their earnings. Now, this is just back of the napkin maths, but it is actually really accurately modeled by Cern Basher. And it made me think about the fact that there's still hundreds of thousands of workers that still need to be replaced every year. However, just by adding these productivity units, these constant automated workers that just never stop, would lead to productivity and a growth in GDP and a growth in business and a growth in capital expenditure that could lead to so many more opportunities. And so when you have a company that can make more money, that have higher earnings, they're able to invest in jobs that are too expensive. They're able to bring in people to facilitate that group of robots across the jobs that they need them to do. So when I just take that example of how much it can have an impact positively on a company like Walmart, and then the ricochet effect that it'll have on a company like Target, who now see that competitive edge and go, we need to also be involved in this. There is going to be replacement of a small percentage of new workers, but that new shortage is getting increasingly harder to find anyway. And if you can find a way of increasing your earnings whilst not fully replacing the new workforce, it could be extremely beneficial for the productivity and the gross domestic product of a country and for everyone else. So it makes me think very positively about the opportunities that come from humanoid robots. And instead of fearing this, it's an opportunity for more growth, more excess revenue and earnings, which could be used to create jobs that don't currently exist. And it might not, but I believe that the impact isn't going to be truly felt until many decades from now. So we will see. Number 2, job opportunities. Now, I just want to start with, as a human, we're able to put our hands into our pockets and we have the dexterity to manipulate a coin or coins and pull out the coin that we need without looking at it. Now, a robot hasn't got that capability to be able to have that kind of complex maneuvering of their fingers without being able to look and understand what they're actually doing. So we still have that advantage, and that's not going to be replaced for a long time. And it just makes me think about where the opportunities can be absorbed by Optimus and other robots and humanoids. It's going to be, if you take an overview of a factory and you look at the outbound perimeter of a factory, what's going on there? You've got quality inspection, you've got the warehousing and the inbound operations, bringing in materials and inventory, unboxing the materials, and inspecting those materials and kitting those materials and bringing them to the line of manufacturing. This is already where bots could be very capable and very useful and work tirelessly until they need to charge for a few hours. These are potentially millions of jobs that could be absorbed by humanoid robots. Now, where's the job growth? Well, as you cut the cost for items, as you cut the cost basis and you start to generate more revenue as a company, you start to be able to afford jobs that may not have been affordable in the past. As you grow the pie, you start to be able to create opportunities for workers to have more of a facilitation around a group of robots to make sure that the final sign-off of whether that product is ready, that quality inspection is ready, is going to come from that human being. And so these opportunities for more meaningful jobs are opening up. And I think that that in itself is quite exciting. So genuinely, the Optimus penetration into the market may not actually be felt. And at the moment, if you think about Amazon, they already have such a large group of robots already working in their factories, and it's just leading to more productivity and it's leading to more growth. And I believe in a positive future, so I think that this could have a massive impact on the opportunities that we have to be more productive and have more meaningful work going forward. Number 3, multi-purpose bots. Now, this is a great example of a robot that's just been developed, and it's basically like a moving spine. Now, you imagine how useful this would be in being able to operate very tight corners and manage to kind of search and rescue and just analyze an area. And you can see how it'll just be able to bend and fold and maneuver its way around tight corners on its own, autonomously scanning directions, and you can see it kind of move through this opening. And just think about how useful that would be, how the use cases for something that can do this on its own for search and rescue would be absolutely game-changing. Next robot is the Rumbler, the famous, well-known Hoover that usually works on most surfaces, but it's usually flat surfaces. Now, this is getting modeled into Wall Street's modeling and analysis of the types of robots that are going to be found in the future. Now, this is going to take up a portion of the market, but it's not going to be as useful as the Optimus robot. Now, this robot is designed for being in the house. The utility is vast. You need to be able to use your hands. You need to be able to have a robot be able to maneuver and manipulate things that you would have in your house, and everything's designed for a human. So designing a robot that can function like a human is going to be more useful. The other part of this is we only have so much counter space, we only have so much unit space, we only have so much space in our houses. You want to have a robot that can be multi-faceted and have so many different use cases that it can operate and take up less space in the house. You don't want to have all these different types of robots on your kitchen surface and kitchen units because it'll just take up too much space. Number 4, let's model the cost and construction of the parts that are going to create this Optimus robot. Now, the total cost comes to about $8,445, which means that Tesla can scale these robots cheaply, which means that their margin is going to be very high. And if they were to make this more affordable for every household, the same price as a car, for example, if they were to sell these for 30 to 40,000 US dollars, which may not happen for a few years, they will still be able to make so much profit. So they'd be making 20 to 30,000 from each robot. That is something that gives them such an advantage. Remember, all of the tooling required for these robots to create these robots are going to be bespoke because these aren't products that have ever been created. So the equipment and the tooling to make the hands and the actuators and the hardware and the sensors and the cameras doesn't exist right now. So they actually have to design the tooling specifically in order to create the Optimus robot. So let's go through all of the construction costs to get to that $8,445 figure. So we've got the sensors, $480. Hardware for computer, $500. The camera, $600. The 2.3 gigawatt 2170 battery pack, $300. The actuators, $3,600. The controls, $500. The inverter, $100. The hardware, $400. The covers, $100. The harnesses, $100. The housings, $50. The castings, $300. The machining, $150. The stampings, $15. The miscellaneous and other, $750. And to assemble this robot, it would cost about $500. So you can see that the creation of this robot is so realistic and scalable for Tesla, and it is going to be marginable, it is going to be profitable, it is going to be easy to make hundreds of thousands of these once they've managed to get the production and the manufacturing line synchronized and in place. By the fact that they've been able to issue guidance to suppliers shows that they are quite satisfied and confident with being able to start the production of these at scale this year. So very confident that this opportunity and this stock and this company is truly going to change lives and create so much wealth and growth for anyone who is believer and has an understanding of how they are no longer an EV car company and actually now becoming a robotics, autonomous AGI company, real world AGI. So how could all this be relevant? Well, a list of advantages that come from having humanoid robots working tirelessly in different industries for the ability to increase gross domestic product across the world could lead to so many opportunities for wealth accrual for the world. So I want to just go through some of the images here, and I'll just put up what they could do and how they could be important. They can work tirelessly. They can be used in labor. They can be used in tutoring your children as a coach or a guide. They can be a caregiver or a companion. They can be this vessel of intelligence. They can speak all languages. They're never late for work, never get sick, never quit. They can do easily repetitive tasks. There's no healthcare, strikes. They don't steal, they don't sabotage. And they have a deflationary impact on goods and services. There are so many advantages to these robots, and it's just the fact that as we start to free up this time, we get to do more meaningful jobs, because these repetitive jobs that I don't believe anyone truly wants to do forever can be replaced and automated by this tireless workforce that just don't stop. That has immeasurable impacts on the economy, on industry, on enterprise, on companies' growth and their earnings, and then what they do with that earning potential, that increase in earning potential, is very key. And how that money is invested in further developing opportunities for humans, because this growth is going to be very exponential, and it's hard to even understand just what impact it's going to have. But I know that Tesla are the furthest ahead. They're the most advanced robotics and AGI company, and they are slowly starting to become more and more well known for these elements of their business. And this model starts to shift towards the potential of the future rather than looking at it as a company that sells cars. And that's where the potential comes from, being able to position yourself now, being able to understand and have that conviction and belief, and then being able to put this into reality. And I think that they do. So I hope you got some value from this video. It's so difficult to truly capture everything that this company are doing because there's so many elements to it. And I'm going to do my best to try and share the insights that I take from all these hours of podcasts that I listen to. I don't really watch films at the moment. I just have podcasts on repeat. I walk around, I'm listening to podcasts. I just write down all these notes and I put them onto my my laptop, and I'm just basically trying to sift through and pull out what's most important. So if my delivery is sometimes a bit stuttered, it's because there's so much information that I'm trying to synthesize and just deliver in a really quick and important way. So it's, what do you need to know? What confidence should you need to build to be able to understand this company's a company of the future? Anyway, before I continue for too long, if you got any value from this video, please like, subscribe, drop a comment down below. I love reading the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.